वासुदेवान बेटे। वासुदेव। हरि ओम। शं नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। प्राच्यपाश्चात्यदेशानां समन्वयविधायकं शान्तं सौम्यगुणोपेतं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं सर्ववेदार्थतत्त्वज्ञं वेदार्थप्रतिपादकं पुराणसारसर्वज्ञं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। Welcome to all of you. So now we resume our program of Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Just like before, on every Sunday, so we have completed last time Aphorism 22 we have completed. So we just mentioned Aphorism 23. So this aphorism is Ishvara pranidhanadva. That is the text of the aphorism. Ishvara pranidhanadva. Ishvara means the Lord. So this is regarding how to attain this samadhi that is under study which we have been making since last few months. So he has given in the previous aphorisms about how to practice this, and he has given in different degrees of practice in the previous aphorisms. So now he says that it is also attained by a total surrender to the Lord. That is the meaning of this aphorism, Ishvara Pranidhanadva. Ishvara means the Lord. Pranidhana means a total surrender. So this is also another alternative to attain the state of samadhi. By studying this aphorism, we can understand, we can know that this method is more straight method, direct method, without any technical aspects, which can be directly applicable without technicality. That is given in this aphorism. So samadhi can be attained also by a total surrender to the Lord. Isvara Pranidhanad Va. Va means also either this or that, but here Va means also or and. So this is also an additional procedure or method which is given in this aphorism to attain samadhi. That is what is mentioned here. So then, a total surrender to Ishvara. So who is Ishvara? Previously also, we have just mentioned about Ishvara, but unless we know perfectly what Ishvara means, we cannot make a total surrender. To whom we have to make a total surrender unless we know to whom we have to make a total surrender? We cannot start the procedure. So first of all, we have to know who is Ishvara. So there are two words here, Ishvara and Pranidhana. Pranidhana means total surrender. So let us try to now first, let us try to realize, to know and realize what is meant by Ishvara. You remember, we have used the word Purusha for the Supreme Lord, which is also explained in Purusha Sukta of the Veda. Who is the Supreme Lord of this whole universe? The Lord from whom all this creation came out, and in whom always it exists, and again into whom it gets dissolved, So the background of all the three phases of this creation, who is eternal, he is called the Purusha, and also he is called Isvara. So we have, let us start with our 5 senses. So we have the working of the 5 senses, the functioning of the 5 sense organs. We have 5 sense organs, sensory organs. So all the 5 functions of these 5 organs, they join at the mind, into the mind. So this mind you can call the negative I am. The positive I am is the real I am, whom we call Purusha or the Lord Supreme. This mind is the negative I am. So this mind has 7 layers. These 7 layers, each of these layers of this mind, they have their functions in our body. So this mind also, there is what is called the prana, the energy. So the mind works into the body through the power or the energy. Because between the physical body and the mind, there is another step or another plane, another instrument, which is energy, or you can call it force or energy. So in our body, we have the functioning of all our physical parts of the body, but the function of the physical parts of the body is made possible by the functioning of this vital force or the energy. And then all these join at the point of mind. So, when we clearly understand how is the mode of functioning of the mind, how is the existence of the mind in us, when we can understand this clearly, then we can easily understand this. For example, when we take a glass of water, into this glass of water, you put a spoonful of salt and also a spoonful of sugar and another spoonful of the powder of copper sulfate. So like this you put totally 7 such substances which can dissolve in water, in a glass of water. And when all of them are dissolved in the water, so all these 7 are existing in the water, in the dissolved state. So the mind is to be compared to this solution in which all these 7 different substances are existing in a dissolved state. Because we have taken water and put each of the substances, and each substance got dissolved in the water. And when dissolved, all these 7 are there existing in the solution of water in dissolved form. So this solution with all these 7 substances dissolved in it, this is comparable to the mind. So our mind is also in such a state in which there are 7 layers existing which are dissolved in this. So then, when you want to crystallize, each of these 7 can be crystallized from the solution. So therefore there are 7 layers in the mind, arranged in such a manner. One layer in another layer, another layer, another layer, like that. So when you go on through each of the layers into it, starting from the outermost layer, when you go to the innermost layer, the innermost of this existence is containing one essential aspect. The essential aspect that is there contained in the 7th layer of the mind. And this layer is called Purusha, or he is also called Ishvara. So now you can understand that Purusha, who is the Supreme Lord, is also called Ishvara or Isha. So this Ishvara is the central point, is existing as the center of the one center of this consciousness, around which all the 7 layers are arranged. And these 7 layers are existing in 7 different planes of consciousness. So this Ishvara is existing in the middle of these 7 layers. How he is existing in the middle of these 7 layers? You take the example of an empty bottle. You take a bottle, a glass bottle, which is empty. So what is there existing in this bottle? You say that there is nothing, it is empty. Yes, for our observation, it is empty. But even that empty bottle, which we call empty, is having the space inside the bottle. So the bottle is filled by space, which cannot be denied by anybody. I think everybody will accept this. You can see, you need not believe anything. You can make an experiment. You take an empty bottle, glass bottle, even you put the lid and fix it tight and look into the bottle, then what is there existing in the bottle? No matter is existing. But space exists in the bottle. This we will accept. Even though you cannot see anything, because space is not in the physical plane or physical plane of consciousness, so you cannot see anything using your physical eye. You cannot see anything, you cannot perceive. But we can easily accept the fact that the so-called empty bottle is full of the akasha or the space. So this is surely acceptable fact. One have to accept this. Nobody can deny this. So now, in the next step, what is there around the space, around the bottle? We have said that there is space filling the body, filling the bottle. Then what is there around the bottle? You put the bottle on the table. The bottle appears to be empty. But now you have accepted that the bottle is full of space. Space is there occupying the bottle. And you have put the lid, closed the mouth of the bottle, but even then the bottle is filled by space. Now, what is there around the bottle? It is also space, isn't it? Inside the bottle is space, and around the bottle also is the space. And the space inside the bottle is as clear as the space outside the bottle. This also a fact which we have to accept. Nobody can have any objection for this, because it is clear. It is so clear. The space inside the bottle is also as clear as the space around the bottle. So there is space around the bottle, there is space inside the bottle, and the space outside and inside are equally clear. So there is nothing by which the space is influenced. So the space is not influenced by anything, it is empty. It is not empty, but it appears to be empty, but it is full. The space is full in the body, in the bottle, sorry. The space is also full around the bottle. So now you put you open the lid of the bottle and you put some stinking substance which gives foul smell, stinking substance, and close the bottle. Okay. Then, now, what is it that is there inside, contained in the bottle, is space and some substance which is stinking, which is giving bad smell. Now, you remove the bottle from that place. You take the bottle away from that place to somewhere. Now what is there? From where you have removed the bottle, what is there? Space. This also we have to accept. Nobody can deny that there is space. Even after removing the bottle from there also there is space. And now, previously there was bottle at that place. Now you have removed the bottle from that place. Now there is space. The space was there before you have put the bottle. The space was there even after you have put the bottle. The space is there even after removing the bottle. Now you accept it or not? You need not be in a hurry. You can think. So we have to accept, there is no other alternative. Before you have put the bottle, there was space. After you have put the bottle, there is space inside the bottle, there is space around the bottle. Okay. Now you have removed the bottle from there. Now also there is space. You can remove the bottle, but you cannot remove the space. Can you? No. Certainly not. You cannot remove the space from here to somewhere else. You can move, but you cannot remove it. Isn't it? If you want, you can move from here to other place, but you cannot remove the space from here to other place. Because space is everywhere. So now the next question is, there was this bottle in which you have put something with foul smell which was stinking. Stinking is giving bad smell. You have removed the bottle, put it away. Now, could you feel any smell, any of the bad smell? Yes or not? You can say yes, of course, even after removing the bottle there was for some time there was this foul smell. After some time, no smell. So smell belongs to the air which was there in the space, you know. It is the air which gets affected by the smell. Therefore, as long as that air is there mixed with the smell, you can feel it. After some time, the air pushes away that air, and now you won't feel any smell. Now the next question is, the space which was there before the bottle is kept, it is the same space even after you put the bottle there. So there is no question about this. And it is the same space which is there after removing the bottle from there. Now, the space which is there, is it influenced by that smell, bad smell or stinking smell? You can think about it. You can make an experiment and think about it. The smell is carried by the air. Therefore, for some time there is a smell, but when the air has carried this away from there, there is no smell. So the smell is felt by you only because it is carried by the air. So it is cleared. But regarding the space, which is there before you have put the bottle, which is there when you have put the bottle, and also it is there when you have removed the bottle, this space, is it affected by this smell or not? Only the air is affected, and that's why after some time it has disappeared. Space is not affected. It is a fact. If the space would have been affected, even after a long time, it should have given the smell. No. Space is not at all affected, either by good smell or by bad smell or anything else. So nothing can influence the space. So this is the truth. You can verify by yourself by experimenting it for 100 times or 1,000 times. You can confirm it that the space which is there either in the bottle or in the room or outside anywhere, the space is not at all influenced by any of the layers of any of the other layers which become the content of the space. In the same manner now, you take the example of our earth. Our planet Earth, you take the example. Now, our earth is constantly rotating around itself. You know, every one of us, we know that. So now, suppose our earth, while moving, it is moving, shifting from the west to east. So then, when we are in our kitchen, what is it what we call kitchen? It's also space. We say that this is my house. I say this is my house. What is it? It is nothing but the space. Even after you have constructed a house, it is the space only. And in the house, you have arranged different compartments, and one of them you call the kitchen, where you prepare your food. That you have named it as kitchen. Okay. Now, I am sitting in the kitchen. You are also sitting in the kitchen. Suppose both of us, you and I, we are sitting in the kitchen and speaking about this. And meanwhile, the earth is continuously moving. The earth will never stop. You can accept it or not. The earth will never stop. It goes on moving, even while we are sitting in our kitchen. So, now, this space in the kitchen where we are sitting, is it the same space which we have seen during the sunset time? And is it the same space in the kitchen during the time of sunrise again? So during this rotation of the earth, where we experience sunrise and sunset like that, this space in the kitchen, is it same or is it different? This is a riddle. Huh? The whole of earth is moving, and our house is a part of the earth. Where is the earth moving? The earth is moving in space only, not otherwise. So incidentally, our house is also moving in the space. It's also rotating along our earth. Huh? We are sitting in our house, and the earth, including our house, is rotating around itself and also around the sun. This we know. This is an accepted fact. Now, how is it that while the earth is moving so much, you know, when the earth has to move around the sun in 24 hours to complete one circle, how fast it should move? It is moving with so much of speed. But you are sitting, suppose, in your kitchen or lying down in your bedroom, wherever you are. Is your house moving or not? You have to accept that your house is not an exception. It has to move along with the earth. It's moving. But if you really see your house is moving like this, what happens? You can move in your house in any direction which you like, but your house can move only in the same direction like your earth. It cannot be otherwise. But we will get panicked if really we can see our house is also moving along with our earth. A big building moving with the earth like this. You can imagine. But what is happening? Why we are not experiencing all this? Why we are doing our own work? Even though our house is moving along with the earth, we are doing our own work, we are moving in the house. You have never ever you have thought about this? These are all facts. This is not imagination. It's not nothing which is an imagination. This is not imagination. This is not any some fantasy of your mind. No, it is a fact. Undeniable fact. But we have never observed it. We never thought of this. We observe so many things, but we do not observe actually what is happening, which is going on continuously, never ending, never stopping. You know? So the space in our house, is it the same space even after so much of movement of our earth? Our earth is moving in the space, and our house is also moving in the space along with the earth. We are also moving in our space, in the same space. So this space, is it the same after so much of rotation, movement? Let us take another example. Suppose we are traveling in a train. You and I, we are sitting opposite to each other in the train. Yeah, we can sit. We did several times when we have traveled together in your country or in our country, you know. So while we are traveling in the train is going on good speed. We are traveling in the train, and there is a fly, a small, mosquito or a fly. A fly, it was sitting on my face, and I just made this. It has flown, leaving my face, and is there in the space. And again, after some time, it can once again come back on my space, or it can sit on your space also. But when I have made like this, and when this small creature, a fly, is there in the space, the train is traveling with such a high speed. For example, 400 kilometers per hour. How is this that this fly is, even though it is floating in the space, how it is also traveling? While it is hanging there, it should have gone so far back. But it is also, even though it is hanging over there, it is also traveling with us. And again it is sitting on our face. How is it? These are the real experiments we have to make. We never make these experiments. We make all the other experiments sitting in the laboratory here and there. But this is the real laboratory. These are the real experiments. Observations we have to make. Now, while the train is moving, is it the same space inside this compartment which is also traveling, in which we are sitting? Or what is happening? This space here is left behind, and another space there is placed here. Is it like this or otherwise? So, we have to accept that there are two layers in the space. Now, We have to accept this, otherwise there is no solution for this. One layer is there, the space which is inside this compartment of the train. Or you can also take the example of a flight. Whether it is a train, whether it is a flight, with some more higher speed than the train, supersonic, it moves in the space. Even then also, when we are sitting in the flight, which is moving at supersonic speed also, then also the same example. When the flight is making a displacement, movement from one point to other point in the space, what is happening? Is it the same space that is existing, or what is happening? So here the space has different layers. So inside the train or inside the flight, the space inside is one layer and space outside is another layer. So one layer of the space is there, which is inside this object, either train or flight. Why we have taken the example of train or flight is because if we take only the example of our house, we cannot completely comprehend this, because we are sitting in our house only, we cannot. But when you are traveling, then you can better understand. That is why we have taken these examples. So therefore, there is that part of space, one layer of space, which is there inside this capsule, which you call train or the flight or your car, whatever it may be, which is moving. Whether it is moving on the surface of the earth or whether it is moving in the air, wherever it may be, whatever it may be, but the phenomenon is same. So we have to accept that there is one layer of the space inside which we experience constantly. One layer only. But other layer of space is that in which this object is making a displacement. Suppose we have got into the flight in Visakhapatnam, just like how last year we did while going to Delhi. So we are sitting in the flight. The flight started from Visakhapatnam. So the flight has taken off from Visakhapatnam. Okay. So what is happening then is the space when the flight is in the landing position inside the space, inside the flight. And when the flight started to make a displacement and started to fly into the air, what is happening? The space which was there, in which the flight was before, has gone back, is left behind, that part of space. And that part of space which was there before the flight has come into action. into which the flight has entered. And the same thing is happening. This is what we call displacement. So the object is moving, making displacement. That means constantly the space which was there before is entering into it. The space before there in where this object is, that is going back. But those who are traveling inside this flight or train, they are existing in only that layer of space. Now you accept it, no? These fellows are not flying away and withered away. They are there constantly in that train, in that compartment, or in the flight. Constantly these passengers who are traveling, they are there in that layer. But the absolute space in which this whole object is moving, that absolute space is, in that space, it is the media through which this is moving, displacing itself. So in this absolute space, the movement is from one place to other place is happening by a displacement of this space. So the space before is coming into this, and afterwards the space is going back. That is what you call the object is moving in the space. But as far as the travelers are there inside this, for them, they are in that layer of space which is constantly maintained. Otherwise they cannot live. So that is the space inside the flight. So now, what is the relationship between this space inside this object, which may be the train or the flight? What is the relationship of this space with the space outside in which this is moving? We have to meditate upon this. It appears as if, we have known, but we have to meditate. Then only you can know this. Is there any relationship between this space and that space or not? If anybody says there is no relationship, that he must be a blind fellow. Even though we opened our eyes, but still we are blind if we say there is no relationship. We have to accept that these two spaces are related to each other. How they are related to each other? This is a unit space, which is one layer of the space, which is there inside this capsule of the train or the flight, in which all these fellows, we are there inside. And the space outside in which this is moving is the total space. So, this space is one unit of that total space. So, this is the relationship. Now we can understand this to some extent, Now, exactly it is the same relationship between the being, either it may be human being or any other being, And the Supreme Being or the Lord, who is called Purusha or Ishvara, exactly it is the same relationship. Huh? Because it is just new for this. It may be in the beginning like this, but nothing new. We are a part of it. It is about ourselves only. That's what we are studying now. We are a part of it about which we are studying. Remember? So our body, our constitution is also a capsule like the flight. So this Ishvara is like the total space. And the one person, individual, is a unit in that total space. And this unit also contains the same space but as a capsule. That is why we feel our body is constant. If I say I am Ananta Krishna, even if I am moving here from Visakhapatnam to St. Petersburg and St. Petersburg to Visakhapatnam, I feel that it is the same Ananta Krishna, the same fellow, okay. But what is this fellow? Is only a capsule, a unit of that total existence. And that total existence is called Ishvara. And Ananta Krishna or any one of you, anybody, or even a mosquito, even a fly, we are existing in the totality, the total existence, Ishvara. We are existing as capsules, units. So this each unit also, just like how inside the flight or inside the train there is this space, and outside also this space, in the same manner is Ishvara or the Lord, Purusha or Ishvara, who is the Lord. He is existing as totality, in which we are all existing as units, individual units. We also contain that same substance in us, same content, space, just like space inside. And that is also called Ishvara, this is also called Ishvara, because that is also called space, this is also called space. Just analogy. You apply this analogy. When you are inside the train or inside the flight or inside your house, you call that is the outer space and this is the inner space, but it is a space only. This is only one unit in the total space. In the same manner, each of the individual is a unit of Ishvara. So this is the relationship between Ishvara and every individual in this whole creation. And therefore the name is the same. What is the name? I am. Now you can understand. That is why Ishvara is also the I am. He can be known as I am. And the individual also is known as I am. Whether you are a human being or whether it is an animal, whether it is a human being, whether it is a bird, whether it is an insect, whether it is a tiny being, whatever it may be, its experience is as I am, as the individual. I am the being. So it is I am only, but That is absolute I am, just like absolute space, unbound space. And this is also the I am localized. You can call this I am localized, which in another term called ego. So what is the ego? Means I am, but localized, made into a unit. And all these units are there in the unlimited I am. You know, just like how there is a space, while traveling in the space, there is space through which we are traveling, so that there, when we reach that point of space, so the point before this is gone back, but we are moving. In the same manner, we are existing, because the space is existing even before the object is moving. The space is existing even before our earth is moving from one point to another point. So every time that part of space is entering and that part of space is displaced, it is going out. And a layer of space is kept constant for some time. So this we have now understood to some extent. To a greater extent we can understand. So that is also called I am. This is also called I am. So this is the relationship between us and the Ishvara, between every being and Ishvara. It is the relationship. Ishvara is the absolute, unchangeable. And this unit is changeable because for some time it is here, after some time it moves. Like this, we are sometime in this body. After some time we go out of this body. But Ishvara is always there, constant. Even after leaving the body also we are there. Because we are part of Ishvara, we will not escape anywhere. We can escape from the body. From this capsule we can escape. We can go out. But we cannot absolutely escape anywhere, because it is a part of that only, that I am only. It is even after we have taken a body, we entered into a body when we are born, then also it is Ishvara only. Just like the space. During the time when we are in the body, all the time it is also Ishvara only, the Lord who is existing. But in a layer, in a capsule. After we leave this body also, it is the same who is existing. When we have moved from, in your own house, for example, when you have moved from one room to another room, what is happening? The space in that room is there, and you have passed through this space, and inside you, the space is there. That is like a capsule which is moving from one room to another room. That space is there left behind. You have entered the space which is in that another room. It is happening every day, but we are not thinking of that. We think about so many things, but we never think of this. That is why we have to come back and meditate upon this. Then we can realize what is the relationship between us and the Ishvara. So when you move a bottle in the space from one place to another place, the bottle, the shape is moving in the space only, whether it is closed or open, but it is the space inside the bottle, which is undeniable fact. That means inside you also he is existing. In himself also he is existing. You see that? He is existing as himself, he is existing in you also as himself, which you call yourself. You see the mystery? It is just like a mystery, but it is real. It is the truth. He exists as himself. He also exists as him himself in you, which you call different I am. I, you, he, she, all these things. But it is the same. You have put some 5 vessels, you have dipped into a water, into a pool of water. You have dipped 5 vessels or 10 vessels. And you move the vessels dipped in the water. Another example to know. All the vessels are dipped in the water. So all the vessels are full of water, incidentally, because they are dipped in the water. So all the vessels are, if you move them, they are moving in the water only, and it is the same water in each of these vessels. When you take out the vessel, also it is the same water, but appears to be different to each other. Suppose you have inverted 2 vessels and put on the table. Suppose I have put 2 glasses on inverted position on the table. So there is space in this glass, there is space in this glass. It is a fact. So, but I say this glass is different and this glass is different. Are they different or are they one? They are different as glasses, as the form, but they are one as the one existence. So the one existence is Ishvara. So many examples you can take to confirm this. In each of these glass there is space, because all these glasses are put in the space. This is the fact. Similarly, in all the beings it is Ishvara only who is existing, because all the beings are existing in Ishvara. Now you can understand. The only one existence is Ishvara, the Lord. And all our existences are also true because all of us are existing inside Ishvara. If somebody says, I don't like Ishvara, I will get out of Ishvara, where can you go? You can get out of your body, but you cannot go away from Ishvara. You can go out of your body, you can enter into another body, but whatever it may be, but you are Ishvara only. No, I say, no, I am not Ishvara, I am Ananta Krishna. It is only the name given to the frame. It is the frame. To identify one frame to another frame, it is name given. Just like in the same house, you say this is bedroom, this is kitchen, this is drawing room, this is prayer room, and this is washroom. To identify your type of activity there, you have given this name. That's all. Suppose if your whole building is dismantled, somebody has purchased this because it is old. They have dismantled this. And again he made a new building in the same space. Now, which is washroom before, maybe his bedroom afterwards. In the new building, it may be a bedroom. But after some time you come say, oh, this was my washroom. This is not washroom now, my dear. It is bedroom. It was a washroom in the old building. Now it is bedroom. So all these names you have given, bedroom, washroom, these are for your convenience. You have given these names. But it is only the space. Is it a fact or not? So, it may be Ananta Krishna, it may be Peter, it may be Lysan, it may be Arjun. These are all only the names for the shape for some time. But absolutely what is this? Ishvara only and nothing else. So therefore you can realize that nothing you can own, you can have a ownership upon any of these things. No. He is the owner because the whole creation, the whole space belongs to him, Ishvara only. You cannot own anything. If it is the space in our house or these things, I can say I can purchase this. I have purchased this, paid so much of money, therefore I am the owner. Even then also, I can say I am the owner of this. But after some years, when you are not there anymore in the body, how can be you the owner? Can you be the owner forever? Think of it. Even before we are born, this space is here. After some time when we leave the body also, this space is here. But then how can you be the owner? Then who is the owner? Who is there absolutely even after we are here, we are not? Absolutely he is there. Therefore he is only the owner and none of us, no other beings are the owners. The whole space belongs to the Lord of the space, Ishvara. Otherwise what we are doing? We are using this space, making some structure. Then we say, oh, I am the owner of this structure, this is my house. Okay, for some time we have to believe this. We have to remember this. No, believe. You need not believe anything, but it is a fact. We have to remember, yes, for some time only. As long as you are in this frame. When you leave the frame, can you take all this with you when you leave this frame? You try, any one of us? If I say, I have purchased this with all my hard-earned money, so I cannot leave this. When it is time for you to leave your body, when the Devas want you to come back, say, no, this is hard-earned money, I have purchased this, I cannot leave. Can you take this with you? Not allowed. You cannot make an air travel heavily. You must be light. This luggage, less luggage and more comfort. That is how we travel in the air. You are allowed only for certain quantity of weight. Beyond that you are not allowed. In the same manner, when we leave this, we are not allowed to take anything from this. Any object or anything or nothing. We have to leave just like how we came into this, that's all. Because all this belongs to the only one person, that is the Lord, Ishvara. So we have to accept this. Of course, you may call him Ishvara, you may call him in your own language, whichever name you like. He says he has no objection. Somebody likes to call him like Krishna, somebody likes to call him Jesus, somebody Allah, whatever it may be, whatever his name. But it is the Ishvara who is the owner, who is absolutely there. This we have to remember always. So this is called. So we are using all this because we are allowed by him. This we have to remember. I am using this body as mine. This is say my body, yes. Because he is allowing. He allows this for some time. Yes, for this time you can use this as yours. Okay. Huh? But not absolutely. So then, how one fellow is existing in all the beings simultaneously? This is another question which may arise in our mind. You said that there is only one fellow who is absolute, Ishvara only the absolute. He is one fellow. But you have so many galaxies, solar systems, and each solar system there is a sun and planets and earth and all this, and each of these there are beings. So you cannot count beyond our comprehension. So how this one fellow can exist in all these beings? How is it possible? Then the answer he has given in Bhagavad Gita, in the 9th chapter, he said, I am existing in all the beings of this creation because all the beings of creation are existing in me. That is the secret, he said. It is not that he is locked inside us. He cannot be locked inside us. Because he is the owner of the whole creation, what is necessity for him to get locked in a small unit? He is never locked in any of this. But he is existing in all these beings, in every atom he is existing. He is existing in every solar system, in every atom, in every being. Even the minutest, tiny particle also he is existing, just like the space. Because not just like the space. Now we come to that point that what we call space is his form. Now this is the secret. That is why he is called also Purusha. What is the meaning of the word Purusha? Purusha means the one who has taken the form to express. That is Purusha. Then how he is also called Purusha? Because the whole creation is his form. That is why he is the grandest Purusha. We are also called Purusha. Even the mosquito is also called Purusha. Because it has a form, expressed through a form, that is called Purusha. So, we think in the beginning that he is existing in me, he is existing in you, he is existing in this object. So he is the indweller in all these things. But afterwards we will realize that he is not specially existing in any of these things. All these objects are existing in him. Therefore, we understand that He is existing in every one of us. That is the secret. That is what He said in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Just you think, if you put a question that why there is space when you have made a structure in the space, you built a building, you made a house, what is there inside? There is space. Now if you ask why there is space in the building, answer is because the building is made in the space. That is the answer. You can understand the logic. Before you built anything, there is only space. Now you have built something, inside also is space. Now, sitting inside the structure, you may ask why there is space here inside. Because you have built it in the space. Therefore, incidentally, there is space inside the building also. In the same manner, how the Lord is existing in all the beings and objects of this creation. Because all these objects and beings in the creation are existing in Him, therefore He is existing in every one of these things. So He is not obliged actually by any of these things. So He is absolute. He is absolute, I am, and every one of us, we are also I am, but relative I am. This we have to remember. What we call I am is relative, that is what we call relationship. You see? We say how we are related to each other? Relative, as I ams. You may have different names, that makes no problem. I am Ananta Krishna, she is Lysan, he is Peter, he is Arjun. So all these, how we are related to each other is a relative, because every one of us we say I am only. So relative, I am. Even the husband and wife, father and son, all this is a relative relationship. That is why you call this a relationship. Relative. The word itself shows relationship means relative. Not absolute. I see the mystery in the words. Absolute is only one. This Ishvara or Purusha is absolute. We are also part of it. We are also Ishvara, we are also Purusha, but relative. Therefore, He is always mentioned as singular number. You see, whenever we speak of Ishvara, we speak only in singular number. We never say Ishvaras. No, Ishvara, only one. Just like space. When we speak of absolute space, singular. And all these are spaces, units. I can call spaces, units, but it is only singular space. So Ishvara is singular. And all the beings we can have, we are so many. I and my wife and my children, my relatives, all these friends, all these are relative terms. Relatively we are. Absolute He is. So when He is he is existing as the indweller of a being who is having a body or a structure or a form, then he is called Jiva. Then he is called a Jiva, means a living being. Jiva means a living being. So one living being speaking to another living being, just like how now we are speaking to each other. One fellow is speaking, another fellow is listening, afterwards another fellow speaks and this fellow will be listening. So all this is, what is this then? Yes, it is Ishvara only. If it is only one Ishvara, it is only one fellow, then this one fellow wants to speak to himself? Yes, he wants to speak to himself. That is his play. Suppose a husband and wife are speaking to each other. It is Ishvara only speaking through the husband, also through the wife. No difference. It is only Ishvara. So he wanted to speak as husband, he wanted to speak as wife, he wanted to speak as father, wanted to speak as children, son or daughter. So all this is his play. So when he wanted to speak to himself, for this purpose, he has built all these forums in the space. That is how all of us we are existing. Now we can understand. All of us, with the form, with our bodies, with our structure, these are all the frames built by himself, out of himself. For what? He wanted to speak one with the other. When he is only one, there is no fun. If you wanted to speak, when he is only one, suppose you are playing something like, some people playing cards or some people playing chess or some people playing with a ball. If there is nobody, from one end he will throw the ball and goes to the other end, pick up the ball and throws this side. But this is not so comfortable always. We should have another person to whom you can throw this ball and he can catch, and he will throw and we can catch. So that fellow also, it is not a fun for him to be alone and to make all these transactions. So he wanted to speak to himself, he wanted to play himself. For that purpose he wanted to build frames, so many frames, and dwell in them. So that is why this space, his form is the space, so he wanted to build these forms as different spaces. But absolutely it is only himself. So that is why he is also called I am. That is why we are also called I am. That is the reason. Now you can, to a certain extent, you can understand why we also say I am, and he is also I am. He is absolute like space. He is the indweller. And he wanted to make fun, he wanted to make a play for himself. So that is why he doesn't want to be alone. So he, from himself, within himself, he created all the various structures, beings, a human being or an animal or a bird, whatever it may be. Different structures he has built. And he is the indweller of all these structures, because he wanted a variety of structures. And he wanted to play. Each of the structure will play with other structure. But the one who is playing in all this is the one. This is the ultimate truth of this whole creation. When we are alone on the bed, then we have to meditate. What I call I am, is it of any part of our body? When nobody is there, when you are alone, just start contemplating. What I say I am, is it my head or any part of my body? Then you will realize that every part of my body is a part of I am. That is the truth, where we will arrive. So, no part of our body is I am, but all the parts, the whole body belongs to I am. That is the truth. So that is Ishvara. So now we have some idea about what is meant by Ishvara. Now in our next class, we will make a further step. What is meant by total surrender to him, that we will see. That is what is explained by Patanjali. Thank you all. Swasti prajabhyah paripalayantam nyayena margena mahim mahishaha gobrahmanebhyah subhamastu nityam lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu lokas samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vasudeva Vasudeva Vasudeva.